Hello, now we're going to do some dividing of polynomials, dividing by a polynomial, using long division. So let's think about some recall. Thinking back to elementary school, we learned how to do long division with numbers. 75.3 divided by 8. So just as a quick reminder, we could do that by doing this. 75.3 divided by the 8. Okay, and then we think about, okay, 8 needs to go into 7. Okay, well, it doesn't. It's too big. So then we think about 8 needs to go into 75. How many times does 8 go into 75? And that's 9 times. We put a 9 here. And that 8 times 9 is 72. So we write that here. And then we subtract those two numbers. We end up with 3. And then we bring down this 3. Okay, now we think about dividing 8 into 33, and that's 4. 8 fours are 32 actually. Okay, and we have 1 left over. Okay, now that we could keep on putting 0, 0, 0 here and keep on going, noticing that this decimal is up here, right above the current decimal. So we could say now 8 goes into 10, and that's 1 time. We've now got 2 left over. 8 goes into 20 2 times, which is 16. We've got 4 left over, and 8 goes into 45 times. Okay, so now we have it done all the way out because 8 5s are 40, and we have nothing left. All right. Or we might have had to divide. Let's look at another example, just 75 divided by 8. All right, so 75 divided by 8 instead of 75.3. So let's see how that looks different. 75 divided by 8. So again, 8 9s are 72. We've got 3 left over. Now we have a choice here. Either we can put a decimal 0 and then keep on dividing out like we did last time. Or we can say, I have a remainder of 3. Okay, so that means 75 divided by 8 is 9 3/8, because that 3 was the remainder, and it was a remainder of 8 parts. Okay, so 75 divided by 8 is 9 3/8. All right, now we're going to do this using polynomials. So we've got a trinomial here, highest exponent 2, so degree 2. Divided by a binomial, okay? But in this case, it's not factorable. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to say x squared plus 3x subtract 43 is going to be divided by x plus 8. Okay, so we want to think about x goes into x squared how many times? Well, x times. All right, and because this is a binomial, I'm going to put that x above the second term over. And now, just like I multiplied 8 by 9 here to get 72, I'm going to multiply x by the x plus 8. So x times x is x squared. X times 8 is plus 8x. Okay. Now I'm going to subtract this, and notice I'm putting my subtraction sign in a circle, so I remember that I need to subtract here and over here as well. Okay, so x squared subtract x squared is 0. 3x subtract 8x is negative 5x. Okay, we're going to bring down that negative 43, that's subtract 43 now. And now we're going to repeat the process. So x plus 8 needs to be divided into negative 5x subtract 43. So we're thinking about how many times does x go into 5x, and that's negative 5 times. Okay, so subtract 5. We're going to do this again. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times 8 is subtract 40. Okay, negative 40. We're going to subtract these again. So remember, I put that subtraction sign in a circle so I know it applies to both columns. Negative 5x subtract a negative 5x, so in other words, add 5x is 0. Negative 43 subtract negative 40, so adding 40, is -3. And this is our remainder. I don't have any other part of the polynomial to bring down. So this is our remainder. So the answer here is x minus 5 with a remainder of -3. Okay, so we're going to represent that remainder as -3, and it was over the x plus 8. That's our remainder. Just like we had our remainder up above in this more simple example. Okay, we had a remainder here of 3, and that 3 was a remainder over 8 because that's what we were dividing by. Here we have a remainder of -3, and that -3 is over x plus 8 because that's what we're dividing by. All right, let's look at another example by long division again. All right, so we have 2n squared. Subtract 16n plus 19 is divided by n minus 7. Okay, so we're going to set this up the same way. Divide it by n minus 7. Okay, so n goes into 2n squared. How many times? Well, that's 2n. Okay, 2n. So, oh, and I'm not going to put it in that position. I need to put it one more position to the right because I have 2 terms here. So I need to put that on top of the second term over. So I'll put 2n here. Now multiplying this out, 2n times n is 2n squared. 2n times -7 is minus 14n. Okay, and then I missed my n here in my question. It's supposed to be an n. And plus 19, yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, missed my n right there. Okay. All right, so we're now going to subtract these. Subtract. Okay, 2n squared minus 2n squared, 0. -16n. Subtract -14n, so adding 14n is -2n. Bring down the 19. Divide now, n minus 7 into -2n plus 19. So think about n into -2n, and that's -2. Okay, now let's multiply it. -2 times n, -2n. -2 times -7 is plus 14. And we need to subtract again. This equals 0. 19 subtract 14 is 5, which is now our remainder because we're at the end of our polynomial. We don't have anything else to bring down. So this is equal to 2n subtract 2 plus 5 over n subtract 7. Okay, so those are your examples. There we go.